Hello all, we are here now for the lesson number 11 of the VariCAD training course, and this lesson is called Attributes of 2D Objects. So, to start this lesson, let me tell you about a little of the 4 kinds of attributes we have inside the software. And basically, we have these 4 types, as I said before. And the attributes are the layers, the colors, the line type, and the visibility. And I would like to go through all of them in detail for your understanding of what we are talking about. So, to start, I want to talk about the layers. And the layers is something that we have available on the 2D side, and it's a kind of sheet of paper transparent, this for each layer. And how can we work with this? The first concept is layers. We can see them here. Okay, we have the layer called 0, the layer outline, the layer axis, dimension, etc. Okay, and there is only one layer active each time, and the active layer is the layer where things, when are drawn, are placed. And this is usually the normal behavior of all the similar softwares, but in case of the VariCAD, we have a small detail, which is under the configuration, menu tools, system settings, and there is a function inside that is called layer switching, and this is tell us automatic 2D layer switching, off or on. So if it is on, and I will turn it on now, what happens is that when I draw some kind of entity, this automatically goes through the corresponding layer. So an example, if I have an axis, if I draw an axis, automatically it will go inside this layer. So let us try. I will draw, for example, a line. I will change the line type for axis, and I will do this. Okay, so now I have a different line type here. It's not very visible, but I think you can see that it's a little different. And automatically this line goes to the layer axis. So I will open this function here, and okay, and I will say to the software, for example, select as current. Okay, and I will draw a normal line, what we call an outline, and you see that automatically it turns it on to the outline. The same as I was trying to show before, if I draw an axis, you see that it changed to the axis. The same for a dimension. So I will turn it outline again. If I go to a dimension, automatically it changed to the dimension. And with that function, turn it on again here, layer switching. If I have this turn it on, we can organize the objects inside the 2D space according to their type. But I can work with this, turn it off. So I will do it off, and now if I have the dimension as active layer, but if I draw normal line, you see that it did not change and it will go to the dimension layer. Okay, this is the concept of having layers. But besides this, I can work with the layers, I can create new ones, and I can have a lot of functions. So these are the layers that I have automatically done, but I can create a new one. Okay, and let us do a new one, which I will call test. Okay, I can assign a color and a line type to it, but I will not do it now. Okay, so I have a new test, and okay. Now, if I want to draw something inside the test layer, I will make it active, okay? And whatever I draw now, it will be placed on the text. So, to summarize, basically this is a function to organize work, to organize entities, and to allow us to view the entities by layers, by levels. Okay, this is, for example, it can be done also to do something like this. We can change the attributes, the color, and now, okay, if I do something with a test active, you see that automatically it will look to the color. But the idea here, it was also to work with the possibility to show all the layers on the screen at the same time, or only some. So the idea here, it was also to do something like this. So for example, blank, and we can manage information, and I'm going a little up front, but to show you the advantage and the way to work with layers. I can not delete but turn it off in terms of visibility, all the entities of one layer. So for example, if you remember this line, there are some lines here on the layer outline, and if I choose objects to blank by layer, then I will say that the outline in entire drawing, okay, and okay. So that line, it was blanked, it disappeared to clean my drawing. So I can control this kind of visibility through the selection of layers. So the organization is what you can call transparent sheets of paper, levels, whatever you want to call them, but the idea is to organize for different types of entities. For example, on a normal drawing, you can put the part in one layer, you can put the dimensions on another layer, the axis, texts, whatever you want in other layers. And if the drawing is complex, you can see only what you want in any given moment. So, for example, we have other things still related with layers, and these things are the concept of having one object in one layer and change it to other. So, for example, I have an object on the text and I want to pass it to another of the layers that I have at this moment. For example, if I go to edit object attributes, change layer, and I can choose one object, for example, this one that is inside the text, sorry, and enter, and I can choose an object belonging to another layer, for example this one, okay, and it will change to the same layer. Okay, so there is a possibility, and it is not frozen, the idea of when an object goes to one layer it will remain there forever. It's not true, so we can change things through the layers. The other things we have here is about automatic layer changes. So you can have these as we've seen on the tools menu on the system settings. We have these available here, and we can have the assign layers to commands. Okay, we can have things like, for example, lines automatically to the layer outline, polygons, tangents. It will go automatically, but we can say that, for example, okay, deselect or select all in this case, but axis. Okay, I can change this or say, for example, this one, it will go to the outline. Okay, then whenever I do something, it will go automatically to this assigned function, and the same for all of these things. For example, dimension, it is easier. This simple dimension, if I select it, I can do it on the outline. So if I go now, for example, like this, okay, it is not turn it on, I must turn it on. System settings to go on the same place where we were before, and I will do it on. So now if I do to this function, you see it will not go to the dimension but to the outline, because it has the definition where we put it now. This is one thing. There is another thing to see about layers, which is, and maybe here is not very much visible, but let us try to see it. And it is on the objects, drawing aids, check here, highlight layer, and I can highlight all the objects that are, for example, on the text, and you see with this purple color all the objects that belong to the layer I selected. We can see it highlighted. Okay, this is something to help us a little to understand what we have here. And the first attribute of the 2D object is layer that we see now. The other attribute we have, or the second one, is color. And color, it is quite simple, and it can be shown here, or as you can see, change color, or here it's the same, change color. It's exactly the same. And we have several colors inside the program. And the concept is we have an active color, and the active color is the color that defines when something is created, which is the color that is going to be on the object. So, for example, if I select the purple, now I can say, okay, it will become purple, okay, and it is purple. If I want to say it, I want to create something that it will be purple when it is drawn, then I must choose in this dialog box. And if I do it now, okay, sorry, it was select color, I will select purple, and I must switch off the option off. Okay, and now if I draw, it will become on the selected color that it is shown here. I know that most of the programs actually have millions of colors available, and I'm not saying this because I'm working with VariCAD, but even that VariCAD if it had a couple of more colors, probably it will help a little. But in my opinion, I would say that having a dozen of colors, it's more than enough to all the work we can develop in 2D. So I don't have much of a problem having these 3, 6, 9 colors available, because it's more than enough, okay? Basically, it happens exactly the same concept for the line types. Things are drawn according to what is shown here. In this case, it's a continuous line, but if we change a different one, and you see that we don't have a huge amount of line types, but we have all the normal line types. If we choose a different one, it is shown here, and if we draw something, okay, it is created according to what is shown here. And basically we can do the same, change something that already exists, okay, and it will change to the things we selected on the dialog box. Okay, we can create something with a definition, and we can change to a different one in the middle of the work. So color, it was the second attribute. Line type, it was the third one. The fourth and last one is the visibility. And the visibility is something that we have in this menu that is called blank and unblank. If you remember a few steps back, I've turned it off a layer with some objects. So what I've done exactly, it was a blank. And the blank is something that we can call the invisible side. So if I go here, blank, and say, okay, let's put this on the invisible side. So in fact, I did not delete the object. I just, for better comprehension or to clean a little the drawing, because sometimes we have very complex drawings, I pass some entities for the invisible side to have a better look on the drawing. But at any given moment, I can do the opposite, which is call the entities from the invisible side and do this unblank. And the unblank has some options: unblank selected objects or selected layers. So I can work with both. So selected objects, entire drawing, by window, blah, 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 blah. So entire drawing and OK. And all 2D objects are visible. So I give an order to the program to call all the objects that were on the invisible side. So this is the fourth type of attributes. And to finish this lesson, I just want to show you another command that is called a workset. And the workset is no less than a group of objects. So when we work at the normal step on the program, we create entities, even that they are organized by layers, by colors, by whatever you want, but in fact they are individual entities. And sometimes it's good to have groups of things, because imagine that I want to translate a group of things from one place to other. And if I don't have any kind of organization, any kind of group, I must select entities one by one or by window, but I need to have things selected at the moment. On the opposite, if I have a group defined, I simply can select a group and everything is chosen immediately. So let us try to do something for your understanding. So menu objects, I have something called worksets, and I have a couple of functions related to the workset. So worksets, in fact, are groups. So let us create a new workset or group. Add to workset. I can have different types of work set until 8. So I will create this work set and I will call it the number 1, and I will select this object and this object and this one to this work set. Okay, so at this moment, if I want to do something with the work sets, for example, I want to check the highlight. Okay, and the colors are not helping, but you can see that it's highlighted. At the same time, I can create, for example, another work set and for the number 2, and I can choose one of the objects belonging to the number 1. Okay, there is no problem with it. And okay, because I can only choose one work set per command, so there is no problem that a given object belongs to more than one work set. Okay, so for example, what can I do more with the work sets? I can delete an object from a work set. For example, work set remove objects from, so number 2, I want to remove this object from the group. Okay, and now only these belong to that work set. I can have, for example, to clear a complete work set, again the number 2. Okay, it is clean, and I still have the number 1. But this is to show you the functions, and the highlight, as I think I show you already. Okay, the number 1. But the purpose of this command, in fact, is as layers are a possibility to organize information, work sets are another possibility. So let us try to do something that we still did not see, which is the translate command, but to choose the objects instead of make an individual selection, to choose by a work set. So I will do to the translate, and on these options here, not this one, sorry, will select the vector. We will see this a little up front on the lessons. Okay, and I will do a move or a copy. Very good. And now on the selection of objects, I can select by many different types of things. And one of the things, you remember a little back in this lesson, I made a selection by layer, but I can make a selection also by work set. Okay, and I have my 8 work sets available. I know that I have only entities on the 1, so I will select the 1. And now I will confirm the OK, and they are moved or translated according to the vector I had selected, but only the objects belonging to the work set number 1. So, and with this concept, the lesson number 11 is finished, so I hope to see you on the lesson number 12.